Welcome to Adventist Home, Chapter 5. A powerful Christian witness. A powerful Christian witness. And best missionaries come from Christian homes. Missionaries for the Master are best prepared for work abroad in the Christian household, where God is feared, where God is loved, where God is worshipped, and where faithfulness has become a second nature. Where absurd carelessness in attention to home duties is never permitted, where quiet communion with God is looked upon as an essential to faithful performance of daily duties. And it's in such a home is where we can get best missionaries, even missionaries that you see that they have gone abroad to preach the gospel, to witness or to tell others about God. They are best prepared in a household where God is loved, where God is feared in that household, where faithfulness is the second nature, is a nature of that household, and where a quiet communion with God is looked upon in that home, where you don't entertain inattention, carelessness, inattention to the home duties. Home duties should be performed with consciousness that if they are done in the right spirit, they give an experience that will enable us to work for Christian in most permanent and thorough manner. In home duties, if you you can never be able to maintain order in your home. The small duties that you're given to do, you can't manage to do them in the home, then it's never permitted. And in such a home, we cannot be able to get best missionaries who will go and tell others about God. Oh, what might not a living Christian do in a missionary line by performing faithfully the daily duties, cheerfully lifting the cross and not neglecting any work, however disagreeable to the natural parent. Our work for Christian is to begin with the family in the home. There is no missionary field more important than this. There is no missionary field where we can preach the gospel rather than by beginning at home, rather than by explaining it to our family first, to our children, to our partners first. By many, this home field has been shamefully neglected, and it is time that divine resources and remedies were presented, that this state of evil may be corrected. If we cannot be able by beginning to make our home field where we get to become missionaries first in our home, then this state of evil should be corrected. The highest duties that devolves upon youth is in their own homes. The highest duties begins in their own homes. Blessing father and mother, brothers and sisters by affection and true interest. Here they can show self-denial, self-forgetfulness in caring and doing for others. What an influence a sister may have over brothers. If she is right, she may determine the character of her brothers. Her prayers, her gentleness, her affection may do much in her household. For you to be a missionary, you have to begin in a home. The blessings from your father, from your mother, from your brothers, from your sister, the affection and the truest interest to others. Always be ready for self-denial and self-forgetfulness and caring for others and doing it for the sake of others. Our prayers and our gentleness will be so much, and affection will be so much in the household. In the home, those who have received Christ are to show what grace has done for them. For those who have received Christ, you believe you have received Christ, then are you surprised by the grace? You have to show what grace has done to you. By the grace, you will be able to take away the sins that you were unable to do it by yourself, by the grace of God. As many as received him, to them gave he power to become the sons of God, even to them that believe on his name. To them who has received him, he has given them power to become the sons of God. A cautious authority pervades the true believer in Christ and makes it influence felt throughout the home. This is favorable for the perfection of characters of all in the home. An argument that infidel cannot gainsay. A well-ordered Christian household is a powerful argument in favor of the reality of the Christian religion, an argument that an infidel cannot gainsay. All can see that there is an influence at the work in the family that affect the children, and that God of Abraham is with them. If the homes of professed Christians enter right religious mode, they would exert a mighty influence for good. They would indeed be the light to the world, and that's what Christ calls us to do. If indeed we confess to be Christians, we have to influence others for good. We have to be the light to the world. Children to extend knowledge of Bible principles. Children who have been properly educated will have to be useful to help fathers and mothers. We extend a knowledge of correct ideas and Bible principles to whom they associate. It doesn't matter to whom they associate. They will be able to extend the knowledge of Bible and the principles. When our home are what they should be, our children will be allowed to grow up in the idleness and indifference to the claims of God in behalf of the needy or about them. As the learned heritage, they will be qualified to take up the work where they are. A light will shine from such home which will reveal itself in behalf of the ignorant, leading them to the source of all knowledge. An influence will be inserted that will be a power for God and for his truth. Parents who can be approached in no other way are frequently reached to do their children. And parents who you think by preaching them you cannot be touch them or touch their heart in any way. You can frequently the easiest way to reach them is through their children. Cheerful home will be a light to neighbors. A cheerful home will be a light to neighbors. We need more sunshine parents and more sunshine Christians. We are too much shut up within ourselves. Too often the kindly encouraging ones, the cheery smile are withheld from our children and from the oppressed and the discouraged. All we need is that cheerful encouraging word, a kind word is all we need, because people here out are so oppressed, they're so discouraged with life. So by doing that, we can be light to our neighbors. Parent upon you rest the responsibilities of being light bearers and light givers. Light bearers, those people who have light for others, and also light givers. Shine as light in the home. Brighten the path that your children must travel. As you do this, your light will shine for those without. As you do this, by shining a light in your home, as you do this, your light will shine to those who don't have those light. From every Christian home, a holy light should shine forth. Love should be lived in action, not by words, but in action. It should flow out in all home intercourse, showing itself in thoughtful kindness, in gentle and unselfish courtesy. There are homes where there are homes where this principle is carried out. Homes where God is worshipped and truest love reigns. From these homes, morning and evening prayers ascends to God as sweet insects, and His mercies and blessings descend upon supplant like the morning dew. Result of a family unity. The first work of Christian is to be united in the family. Then the work is to extend to their neighbors nigh and afar off. The first work, be united in your family, in your own family, your sisters, your parents, your brothers, be united. From that now you will be able to extend the light to everyone. Those who have received the light are to let the light shine forth in clear rays. They are ones and fragrant with the love of Christ are, are to be a savior of the life unto life. The more closely the members of the family are united in their work in the home, the more uplifting and helpful will be the influence that father and mother and sons and daughters will exert outside the home. In a home where there is unity, you can see love, you can see affection and caring for each other. So one thing we need in our home is to unify, to be in one. We work in unity, and this will be able to help to influence others. Good men need Good men needed more than great minds. The happiness of family and church depends upon home influences. So even the church begins from home, because the happiness in the family, in the happiness of family and churches depends upon the home influences. External internal interests depend upon the proper discharge of the duties of this life. The world is not so much in need of great minds as of good men who will be a blessings in their home. All the world need is good men, not great minds with good ideas. No, all the world need is good men who can be blessings to their family, who can be able to touch a neighbor by the light, by unity in their family. Avoid mistake that may close doors. When religion is manifested in the home, its influence will be felt in the church and in the neighborhood. But some who profess to be Christians talk with their neighbors concerning their home difficulties. For those who confess to be Christian, what is this that you talk to your neighbors? Is it about your difficulties that you go through? How we should profess about it's about the grace of God. For sure, if you are Christian and we can make it, everyone, God has done it marvelous into their life. And by the grace, you are saved. By the grace, you wake up this morning. By the grace, you have something to eat. So worry not and always talk about the good things that you have gone through. But what happens to most of us? As Christians, we confess the difficulties we get through in our families, and therefore people try and lack something they can trust if they have gone through this in their own families. So can I be a Christian to go through this the same? They relate their grievances in such a way as to call forth sympathy for themselves. But it is a great mistake to pour our troubles into the ears of others, especially when many of our grievances are manufactured and exist because of our irreligious life and defective character. Those who go forth to lay their private grievances before others might better remain at home to pray, to surrender their perverse will to God, to fall on the rock and be broken, to die to self, than that Jesus may make them vessel unto honor. Thus you go in private. You go and lay out your grievances to others. It is better for you to remain at home. You pray and surrender everything to God, believing that God will use you as a vessel. And He will hear you and answer your prayers, rather than to go and shout out your difficulties that are so and to have into others without even saying a word of the grace that the things that God has done to you. At least have something to say, I'm glad. Have something to say, I'm glad I woke up this morning. I'm glad I have this day. I'm glad I have good health. Just have one thing to appreciate, have one thing to be grateful of. A lack of courtesy, a moment of petulance, a single laugh, a thoughtless word will mar your reputation and may close the door to the heart so that you can never reach them. A lack of courtesy in your words may close the door that you can never reach the heart of those neighbors. You can never be a light to them. Christian in the home shines abroad. The effort to make the home what it should be, a symbol of the home in heaven, prepares us to work in a larger sphere. The education received by showing a tender regard for each other enables us to know how to reach those hearts that need to be taught on the principles of true religion. The church needs all the cultivated spiritual force which can be obtained, that's so, and especially the young members of the Lord's family may be carefully guided. The truth lived at home. The truth lived at home make itself felt in disinterested labor abroad. He who lives Christianity in the home will be right will be a bright and shining light everywhere. He who lives a Christianity life in a home, in their household, will be a bright and shining light in everywhere they go. May God help us. We have not been doing it right, but we can try to do it right. We'll be a light to our community. We'll be far reaching to others, and we'll be a blessing to others. May God help us also to share a word of how He has surprised us with His grace, a word of how much we are glad for having God into our lives, rather than sharing our difficulties. Yes, we have our difficulties, but let's always be willing to share the great things that God has done to us. Even having a good health, you say health is wealth. So believe in yourself that God has done it for you by giving you good health. May God bless you. Let's meet on chapter 6.